Okay, carrying on with lesson number 3. Here is a pattern of line segments drawn on dot paper. And we're going to be kind of looking at the figure number. This is figure 1. So the number 1 there, and then you've got figure 2 with a 2, figure 3, figure 4, and figure 5. You can see that they've made a table that shows the same thing. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, figure 5. Now, the table on the right-hand side of the table, it says the number of dots. So those are the things that we're looking at. We're going to look at figure numbers, and we're going to look at the number of dots in each figure. So in figure 1, I can see 2 dots. There's a dot, and there's a dot. Figure 2, I see 3 dots. Figure 3, I can see 4 dots. And so on. Figure 4 has 5 dots. Figure 5 has 6 dots. Now, we can kind of recognize something here. The number of dots is 1 more than the figure number. Okay, let's just check out that statement. Go back to figure 1. How many dots in figure 1? Well, there's 2 dots. How many dots in figure 2? There's 3 dots. And it continues on. Figure 3 has 4 dots. Figure 4 has 5 dots. Figure 5 has 6 dots. Okay, so this is a true statement. Alright, what they're writing here is true. They're not trying to trick you or anything like that. Now look at the sentence down here. We can write each number of dots as this sum. Figure number plus 1. Well, does the word sum remind you of last year? Do you remember that? I think it was introduced last year maybe. A sum is the answer to a adding question. Alright, so if I have figure number plus 1, I'm adding, right? So what's the answer to that? Well, look at your chart and look specifically at the number of dots side. In the first figure number, we can see that the number of dots is 2. Well, how did I get that? Well, I've got the figure number plus 1. Right? I'm adding 1 to the figure number. And that's what they just told me right here. Figure number plus 1. So you can see the figure number is written in red ink, 1 plus 1. The number of dots equals 1 plus 1. And that's 2. Alright, we've already seen that. Figure 2, the number of dots is 3. Well, how did I get that? Well, I took the figure number written in red, which is 2, and I added 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And you can carry on. Figure number 3 has 4 dots. It's 1 more than the figure number itself. Now, let's look down at the bottom of the video, right here with little x. We can use a letter such as F to represent any figure number. And when I do that, the F is called a variable. And the reason is that we have more than one figure number. We've got 5 of them, right? So we can kind of substitute the F to represent any of those numbers. Alright, so let's take a little bit further look down. The very bottom sentence. And it says, then the number of dots on figure F is F plus 1. This is an expression, okay? In mathematics, we've got various ways of writing numbers down. And when we do this, there's no equal sign there. If I had an equal sign, we would call it an equation. But since there's no equal sign, we call it an expression. And it represents the pattern that gives us the number of dots. Alright, so we're looking at the figure number, and we're looking at the number of dots, and we're getting some patterns. And we can represent that pattern with this expression, f plus 1. And remember, the f in this case represents a figure number.